welcome to lesson 59 on fractions equal to 1 and subtracting fractions from 1. If the numerator equals the denominator, the fraction is a whole. So let's look at all these examples here, okay? How many parts is this whole broken into? 2. And how many are shaded in? 2. So 2 out of 2 is 1 whole. In this one, I've got 3 parts and all 3 are shaded, so 3 out of 3 is a whole. In this one, I've got 4 parts and all 4 are shaded, so 4 over 4 is a whole. All of these equal 1. 2 over 2, they both divide by 2, they equal 1. 3 over 3, it equals 1. 4 over 4, it equals 1. What is that going to be? Count them out. What is this one going to be? Count them out. This one's tricky. Don't just assume the pattern's continuing. Let's look at our first example. Write a fraction equal to 1 that has a denominator of, so here they want us to give it a denominator of 4. What will my numerator be? Yeah, we learned from above that anytime the numerator and denominator are the same, it equals 1. So what about for 6? I'm going to give it a denominator of 6 and a numerator of 6. You do see. All right, this says add 1/4 plus 3/4. So when I'm adding fractions with the same, they're always going to need to have the same denominator. These ones do. Our denominator stays the same. We add across our numerators. I got 4 over 4. Now I already just learned that 4 over 4 equals 1. So from this point out, if you get an answer of a numerator and a denominator the same, I want you to simplify them to 1. Here it wants us to compare 4 3/3 and 5. Well, 4 3/3, 3/3 is going to simplify to 1. So this becomes 4 plus 1, and 4 plus 1 simplifies to 5. So 5 and 5, they are equal. And here we have 1 1/2 plus 2 1/2. So if I were to write those out, I'm going to add my fractions and I'm going to get 1, 2 over 2. And I'm going to add those and I'm going to get 3, those whole numbers. But 2 over 2 becomes a 1. So this becomes 3 plus 1, which becomes 4. So our final answer would be 4, now that we know this little trick. All right, go to page 2. This is the part of the lesson that I think gets a little tricky. So we have to subtract a fraction from a whole number, rewrite the whole as a fraction that's equal to 1, with the same denominator as the fraction being subtracted. Okay. So in most of these examples, the whole that we're subtracting from is 1, which makes it really easy, okay? So we're going to rename 1 as a fraction that we can subtract 1/3 from. Remember that fractions need to have the same denominator in order to be able to be subtracted. So I want this 1 to have a denominator of 3. So what fraction with a denominator of 3 is going to be easy to subtract 1/3 from? 3 over 3 minus 1/3. Keep the denominator the same. 3 minus 1 is 2. So our final answer is 2/3. Let's try this one. Actually, you try this one. Rename 1. All right, never mind. I'll do it for you. All right, so in this one, I want it to have a denominator of 5. So what number can I put up top that will make this fraction still equal 1? 5. I'm renaming 1 whole as 5/5 minus 2/5 equals, my denominator stays the same. 5 minus 2 is 3. All right, let's go to the bottom. 3 minus 1/3. Okay, this is a fun one. This is what's coming, okay? So this isn't a 1. So what I'm going to do for this one is I am going to borrow a whole from this, and I'm going to rewrite it as a mixed number. So instead of 3, I'm going to take 1 away, and I'll have 2 of the whole numbers left. And then my last whole, I'm going to rewrite. So my last whole is going to become, I want it to have a denominator of 3. And I know that it's got to be the same to equal it. So 2 3/3 is the same thing as 3, but when I rewrite it this way, it allows me to subtract a fraction from it. So if I subtract the fractions, my denominator is going to stay the same. 3 minus 1 is 2, and then 2 minus 0 is 2. So 2 2/3. All right, here's the last one. Go ahead and do that one and show me what you know. I know you're going to do great. Go ahead and get to work.